Well, folks, we're 9-2. The world got to see it because we were back on YouTube, so that was definitely a great relief. The score was lopsided as I've ever seen going into the fourth quarter, as crooked as Danny Kaelin's helmet. But, looking forward to this bye week. We get the rest up. They get the rest up. Who needs it more? You look a little tired this evening.
A little tired.
Sean?
Feeling good. Got
glad
coffee.
to have you here. How are you feeling this evening?
Feeling great.
The big rankings just came out. We got to see that live. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. But before we really jump into college football rankings and all that stuff, I do want to talk about this Duke game. It was definitely an exciting game to watch. I definitely know I went into it with a lot of nerves. But, Sean, after you watch that game, do you feel like this was the complete game we were searching for? Or is this just is the team finally hitting stride? So I just want to ask you, but let's break it down just offense and defense. So is this the best that we've seen from the offense this year?
I think it definitely showed the most potential out of the offense. We've had some big games, but against a bigger opponent, this was one of the best we played. Obviously, we played great against Florida State. We threw up a lot of points, but, defense didn't help. But the complete game, yes. Short answer, yes. This was the most complete game we've seen all season, barring 2 interceptions by Chandler. One was a little bit rushed, and then the other one, just an overthrow. He's overthrown that seam ball a little bit, and the defender made a big play on it. So, yeah, I agree. I think this was the best we played. I like the wrinkles in the offense that we saw. I don't know if y'all picked up on some of those. I know we talked about the 434 podcast, broke down the 78-yard rushing touchdown by Jamari Taylor. Big play, and I love that wrinkle. Just a little speed option.
So
opened up the run game for us.
We'll get back into some of the nitty-gritty of the offense, of some things that you saw. But, Mills, what were your initial thoughts of the offense that you saw? I mean, it was pleasing to watch, right?
Yeah, it was fun. It was, we weren't on our toes till the fourth quarter. We were wondering if we were going to blow this. But I think this offense kind of showed like Sean said, kind of the scoring that we saw at Florida State. We can move the ball over. We had our own will against Duke's defense. I think that this offense finally, they were down, bad for 4 straight games that we were kind of harping on them for?
Yeah, definitely. I saw a lot of red flags, with this offense, and it really had you wondering, especially coming off that Wake Forest loss where we failed to score a touchdown.
Yeah.
So
I think the big thing for me was watching it was we got back to what was working for us at the beginning of the year, running the ball first. And then, like Sean said, you throw in those wrinkles, but then he found Terrell Harris. I mean, he looked for Terrell, and then he got Cam Ross involved in the game, like you mentioned, give him to the speed guys. And then, it was good to see the tight end get some roles. I still think we missed Twitty out there, but we got back to what worked in the first 4 games, and then we went away from it, and now we're getting back into it. So hopefully we take this bye week and, we go into Tech.
Yeah, I'm not really sure, as I look at this, we talk about Dez getting away from the play calling, and that was working, but you are also kind of beginning to wonder, the defensive fronts that we're playing, and had they kind of made adjustments to stop our run game and kind of just block things up, push things out. So I'm wondering, what was so much different than this, and I think really it could also be a little bit of competition, a little bit of game planning, and how Duke approached this. But I thought Morris looked really sharp. And some things that I see that really set this team up for success is just establishing the run earlier, but also not just settling for, your passes that are on the side of the field, but that stuff that we get across the middle. I mean, when we're really hitting those passes and our run game's going, that opposing defense they're just so tight, and we're just hitting in so many different areas, and it just sets the game up for us to be successful with a lot of those little check downs, those speed options, those jet sweeps that you see. So
I mean, Ben, your thoughts of going into that game, it was must win. We have to say it now, it was a must win, right? Just to keep the ACC hopes alive and the playoff hopes alive, but they didn't seem tense to me. It seemed very relaxed. They seemed okay with the pressure. I thought that Chandler Morris definitely ran smarter, running out of bounds, didn't want to take the hit. He took off when he wanted to, but he stayed in the pocket and delivered some good balls.
Yeah, and I don't want to dive into it too much, but the way that the defense responded and they took that little bit of, they did their job again, but they kind of set it up when they're playing really well, but you get out early with a score like they did. So that, you're talking about them playing a little bit looser. They did kind of hit some lulls, and obviously Elliott talked about that in his press conference where he really had to bite into them, because they seemed a little bit passive. But Sean, I mean, let's get into the nuts and bolts of this offense. Like, what did you see that really stood out? Like, what players do you feel like really made an impact that really stepped up in this offensive game?
Well, honestly, I think we allowed Chandler Morris to be Chandler Morris, and that was the biggest thing for me. He was able to be comfortable in the pocket. They rolled the pocket out for him. He threw the ball on the run a lot, and that's where he's at his best, when he's mobile, because it makes the defense react, and you got that backyard football element, and he just looked better doing it that way. So I definitely liked that aspect of his game. And then I think being intentional and getting Harrison Whaley involved.
Well,
it took some of the load off of
some of that seemed not to
Jamari.
Some of that seemed, not to cut you off, seemed that Jamari Taylor got hurt and scared us all early.
Well, they said they were intentional. They wanted Whaley to get about 15 touches this game, which I think it's good. When we were rotating our backs, we ran the ball better, and I think it showed. We also didn't run everything on inside zone. We got the ball onto the edges, and we went away from the front or the defensive front. And it definitely worked out for us. The Jamari Taylor speed option went for 78 yards. But that's also him. He had his vision to cut back to the inside. Boom, big plays.
I think that was a point that Ballhawk on his podcast made that they were a little soft, that Duke's a little soft around on the edges and clamping down with that. So, that was definitely, they took advantage of that, in the run game and even in the pass game a little bit too. So, but then... Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just overall, when you open up some of those plays for us, we just look better. Overall, we just look better. We got the ball over the middle. We got some slant routes going. We attacked all three levels of the field. We just didn't attack on the run game and short throws, and I think we stretched the field a lot. So,
would you say, Mills, that there isn't really quite the thing? But would you say that was a perfect game?
No.
I agree. I think there's a lot left on the field to clean up in that game.
The turnovers were they're going to happen, but there were some forced ones that, even we were texting Ben, you're like, it just feels like something's bad. You even said it. I don't even know. Maybe you were ahead of me on the YouTube.
No, I
TV.
said for some reason I still feel nervous.
Yeah, and then the pick six happened, and I was like, okay. Well, Ben must be ahead of me, but then, I've realized we were at the same time. But then you at the end, we were texting. You're like, this feels like a setup where, we were stalling out those, 2 drives we kind of stalled out on. But then the defense clamped down, and we clearly ended the game. But
what about you, Sean? I felt like I saw some, weird penalties that that's any game, but it just felt like, man, we just...
Ticky-tack.
We could have been so much better.
Yeah, there's always room for improvement. We're always seeking perfection. And obviously, again, the pick six wasn't ideal. But again, defensively, we only gave up 10 points. We had a big 4th down stop, which was huge. Another one. And then I felt like that was the big turning point. We stopped them on 4th down in the red zone, and then we marched down the field and scored right away.
What it felt like...
that was 2 plays later. We scored the touchdown, and then we forced a 3-and-out. So we really had the momentum going. We had some of the big plays, and we won the middle 8 for sure. We had a little bit of a lull in the 3rd to 4th quarter, and Tony jumped them between the 3rd and 4th, and I think that was a good wake-up call. We were at one point we were up 28-0. 28 points.
So I feel like we left a few points on the field though. So we had
the drive where we settled for a field goal.
You had Trell's
Edrin's touchdown callback.
Well, yeah, it was Trell's penalty.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
So we had that. We had a loss on downs where we could have kicked the field goal. I mean, how do you feel about us going for that? Do you feel like
Well,
do you
what
feel
was
like
the
we
di-
had a
what was
little?
the distance of the field goal though? At that point, it was over 44.
It was right around that range.
Yeah, it was past
I see.
the special
Will
green line.
Will did good this week of kicking. He was a 40. He had kicked a 41 or a 42
He's
yarder.
one of our career best kickers. You got to stop crapping on the guy.
I'm not crapping on him.
I'm just saying.
I'm still
well,
saying my
okay,
boy Connor
you-
Hughes is
okay,
still
in
number
fair-
one.
In fairness, you are giving him his flowers, but I want to say he like moved up to like number 2 or 3 on
3.
for all-time kickers.
Yeah,
Number 3 in scoring.
Scoring, he's behind Wally and Connor Hughes. Now, he might become the all-time leading scorer next year when he comes back. But the thing that I was saying about him is when it comes down to a field goal that is needed over 40, do you trust him?
I mean,
And I think he kicked well this week
I don't-
on the road.
I don't know. We would have to really just do a deep dive on. I'm sure Perplexity Sean could tell us the answer, but honestly, that's the thing that also seems to be the trend. I wonder how long it's been going on, but that really does seem to be the trend with offensive play calling is that they're running analytics almost like live time through these AI models that are telling them.
It's telling
whether-
like 4th and 1,
I guess
go for it.
that's the new
Fourth and-
feature now on ESPN. AI says,
Go for
Go
it.
for it.
but
I didn't mind the going for it on that down. I mean, we were
Where
already
were we
up.
We were up, what, 10?
Yeah, we were up a decent
15?
score.
especially after the Wake Forest game where
We settled.
We settled.
We
but
settled.
this is the game where we had a lead. I'm okay for being more aggressive when we have the lead, but and it was a commanding lead.
apparently
So-
Des said, "Hey, whoever gets the 31st wins this one." So
Did he?
So one I want to highlight that we ramped up and we took advantage of, and these are the numbers that matter when we win games. We win time of possession. So we had the ball for 36 minutes. We won third down conversions, 12 and 19, and we limited them to 4 for 15. And then our red zone scoring was 4 for 4, but we had 3 touchdowns this week instead of field goals. So 3 touchdowns, 1 field goal. So those are the big 3 categories that if we're winning, that's what we are. Those are the key statistics I see. And then we had over 500 yards of offense, 540 yards of offense.
Which is good.
I think that this year in all, though, in terms of time of possession, has been one of the most impressive things underlined that I've seen.
Well, I think
just feel like they
when you can
drive
hold the ball the longest,
You keep a powerful offense on the sideline.
correct.
It's a weapon. That first drive, what was it, 14 plays, 75 yards for a touchdown? 6.5, 7 minutes. So that was huge to start the game. So overall, I think I was like you, Mills. I was kind of nervous. I woke up Saturday morning and I was waiting for 3:30 and watching the game. I was just like, all right, kind of nervous. And then when we get that first touchdown, the weight kind of is off the shoulders because we got a faster start. And then I finally could breathe a little bit. And then we had that pick six, and I was like, oh, here comes the Virginia downfall.
A couple things I noticed about the offense, and maybe I'll segue a little bit into defense when I'll comment on Duke a little bit, but I don't think we really played very much hurry up.
We did when we needed to, which I'm glad you brought that up because we had the Cam Ross catch on the first drive on fourth down or third down.
Yeah.
They weren't sure if they got it or not, but we hurried up and we snapped the ball. He basically threw it in the dirt, but we got the play off. So I think they learned from the Wake Forest fumble. Hey, if you see something like that, we need to go. So I think that was good to see that we would have got the spot anyway.
That was
Wait, what?
that you bring that. That was also another interesting play where Trell, went out of bounds and reestablished himself. That was like,
Well, and the announcers didn't catch it, and he clearly didn't understand the ruling at first because he was saying, well, he had to establish himself. He can't be the first one to touch the ball, but he got forced out of bounds. And they showed the replay 3 times. The guy shoved him out of bounds.
Right,
He came in.
and there was also another terrible call that actually didn't go in our favor. They called false start where the guy jumped into the neutral zone.
Yeah.
And
That one was a little questionable, but
that
they
was
say
in our
But
red zone, wasn't
but
it?
they were saying he got back before we hiked or
no, that it wasn't. The guy who jumped was not the guy directly in front of him.
correct.
It was like to his side. So in order to induce the false start, it has to be the guy who you're lined up on, I believe.
The big takeaway I took from this.
We can ask 4-3-4 that one.
Yeah. 434 is going to be joining us next week on our pod, just so
Awesome.
y'all know.
Awesome.
Yeah, name's Deuce. Just a little backstory. Played at the Citadel. His dad also apparently coached at UVA and JMU.
Yeah, and if you haven't checked him out,
He's good.
He's a lot of fun to check out on YouTube. It's easy listening. Much more short wind than
Than we
us.
are.
So,
And he can break down plays because he's done it before.
but look, yeah, go ahead.
My one thing, I just said that I was very impressed with, this was a road win. This wasn't a win at Scott that, this was on the road. We went out and handled our business. Because if we hypothetically get into the playoff, we're going on the road.
It also really wasn't a nail biter.
No.
Honestly,
We controlled the game. We controlled it.
Cal even had some suspenseful moments. Like, Cal was a little scary.
Well, because we didn't seal it till Cam Robinson's pick 6.
You know what I mean? So, but like, our offense definitely did a great job in controlling the ball, keeping a good defense or a good offense off the field
Sideline.
on the
Yep.
sideline, and that offense being Duke. So that kind of segues into our defense being. Our defense also delivered again in this
I'm
game.
gonna keep saying it till I'm blue in the face. I told y'all there was one guy I trusted on this staff to get the ship right, and that's Coach Rudd.
You need to stop saying it because my man might get picked up by
I was
another
about to
team.
say, hopefully he stays with us. Hopefully we can go back-to-back years without. Well, let me rephrase that. Hopefully there are some shakeups on the coaching staff. We'll leave it at that.
He might end up at JMU.
They might be looking for somebody.
Why you got to throw Bob's gonna be leave? Why you got to do that to me? Why are you gonna get me all
My
fired
man's
up?
conflicted. He's got a UVA hoodie on, JMU pants on. Okay.
Also, can I just, I'm gonna save it, but Mills math. You know Mills math. I got some Mills math for you. Can I bring my Mills math in?
Yeah, do a segment. We got a segment.
Can I bring
Brought
my
to you
segment?
by Statewide.
All right.
Mathnasium.
Brought to you by.
We're gonna get this in real quick, and I'm gonna keep this under 3 minutes, and I just want you, Ben.
Get it off your chest.
Yes. Okay. So Tulane's number 25. JMU has been left off. Can I first talk about this? Tulane lost to UTSA 48-26. Okay, we following them. Texas State beat UTSA 43-36. JMU beat Texas State 52-20.
I'm gonna need a
How?
whiteboard.
All right. So Tulane lost to USTA.
Okay.
Texas State beat UTSA,
Okay.
and then JMU mollywopped. Remember the podcast that I missed because we were playing Tuesday Night Football? That was that game. We won 52-20. So how are you gonna put Tulane ahead of us? That's all I want. All right, back to UVA. I'm sorry. I'm off my soapbox. I'm just angry.
No, it's fine. You have a valid point to be upset about it. So if it's any consolation that Tulane beat Duke and we beat Duke, so using Mills math, we beat Tulane too. So,
That's right. Tulane shouldn't be in there.
but anyway, back on track.
All right, back. Sorry.
Coach Rudd, night in, night out,
He shows
it has been showing up the second half of the season.
I hate to
What
say
is it that's really different though, Sean?
the
Why-
DBs.
Well, that's definitely DBs, but there's a couple things I think that go into that. I want to hear your take, Sean, of why you think we're having success on defense.
Well, again, we've all said the DBs. They've gained confidence and they played well. Another game where we allowed them to play one-on-one on the outside, and they did not get beat. If they got beat, it didn't hurt us. So we didn't give up any of those big plays. They did complete some big plays, but I think it was
Sure.
kind of more in front of them.
I'll say, Sean, I felt like, and I don't know if you and I talked about it, that one touchdown that Menza threw, I don't feel like our DB got beat. I just think he punched in the wrong spot. Like the way he punched up, and he probably punched up on like his like.
It was a good ball. Mensa can throw a good
It
ball.
was a good ball,
and
but I'm
good
saying
play
like
But that was
that's
also-
that's a foot away from that ball getting punched out. Also, there was another play, heck of a strip
Yep.
strip that just
That
rolled 10 more yards right into the guy's arms.
But that's where we got the fourth down stop too.
I'm just saying, like, but these guys are definitely stepping up. I don't know if it's
I think the D line was.
I
the
don't know if it's
best.
a technique thing or if it's a communication thing and a meshing thing.
I think that was what Ballhawk talked about last week was the communication got better with the defensive backs, and they know because early in the year we were rotating a lot of people in and out trying to find the group who was going to be out there the most, and I think we've kind of found that now. Christian Charles has been out there a lot, and there's a few others that have been playing really well on the back end. So like Corey Costner played well again. So we had the guys have
My boy
stepped up.
Robertson played well again
So-
in the DBs.
You were
But-
saying you felt like the D line showed up.
Yeah.
So I think, Sean,
I agree.
I
We
feel-
got home with
I feel like there's a symbiotic relationship between your secondary, obviously, and that. So their ability to pressure Menza and put that on him helps our DBs
DBs.
even more.
Yeah,
'Cause
especially-
it's like this nice.
When a
It's a
quarterback
balance.
has time like 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds to sit in the pocket, it's harder for a DB to guard a receiver.
And Sean, I could be wrong. Duke's offense is like kind of like a developing type of offense, right? To allow him to make reads.
well, yeah, you have multiple reads in every play, but we were getting to the quarterback with a 3-man rush or 4-man rush. I mean, Fisher K-Mac started the game with a sack. That was huge. We had 4 sacks total. So, I mean, we really, the defense stymied them. I mean, and when you're a pass-heavy offense, we also didn't allow them to get the run game going. So they were in third and down or third and deep a lot of times. And if you look, again, we held them to 4-15 on third down. And we held that rushing offense to only 42 yards of rushing,
Yeah.
which is incredible. And then, again, so that forced on the pass, and we still only gave up 213 yards
Do you-
for 255
Do you have
total
a
offensive.
first half breakdown for Menza?
No, I don't have.
That's okay, but I think a lot of his passing yards were just.
It definitely came in the second. The first half, I think we held them to only like 40 yards total.
and that's like also like the big thing. Like us, you're talking about us playing relaxed. Like when we got out really fast and early, that just changes the dynamic for Duke. They're just having to play catch up. They're having to play.
We had,
The play calling's vastly different for them. But go ahead.
yeah, we had 4 sacks for 21 yards, and then we had 8 tackles for loss for 30 yards. So, I mean, those two big categories, 8 pass breakups, and then 6 quarterback hurries. So, I mean, the defense has really did its job. And you also got to point out, Cam Robinson played 3 snaps this entire game. So, really hope that knee injury isn't significant. But
think-
he definitely couldn't. He did not play he played 1 snap in the
We
second
have
half.
some really talented guys in the linebacker position.
yeah,
you know.
but I want him for.
Oh, absolutely. He is definitely
the final
that guy
game.
that's just
Landon
next
Danley,
level.
he
But-
stepped up.
But I'm saying, like,
Again.
if we have some good players there, Mills, is there anybody on this D line that you've really grown to like this year?
Yeah, I think Sean said it in week 1 of the podcast. The guy from Ohio State,
Mitchell Melton. Everybody loves
I
Mitchell
mean,
Melton.
I just think that he brings that leadership role because he's been there. He was on the national championship team. He left because he believes in what Elliott brought to him or convinced him to come over, leaving Ohio State. I just think that when he sets the tone and makes a play or gets a stop for a tackle for a loss, it just fires up the other guys. I just think he's and then kind of reminds me of like kind of like when Chris Long played. You know, Chris Long set that tone on the D line back in the day, and Chris Long went on and did his thing, but kind of reminds you of that. We look to Chris Long to get the defense going, and now Mitchell's doing his thing.
That's a thing, like, in the big picture, not just on the national title level, but, like, the guys that he brought in this year and some of the guys he's brought in, especially compared to the past, he's brought in a lot of just winners.
Mm-hmm.
And he's trying to change that culture. So, I mean, like, it's not just Mitchell Melton, but you got Sage Ennis from the really good, thick Clemson years. You know, he's been around it. You have the kid from Notre Dame. He was hurt, the wide receiver. Then we get a wide receiver.
He hasn't played much, right?
But you got him. You've got you've even somebody like Hunter Osborne coming out of Alabama, where the culture's just kind of differently, because that's what Alabama does. They win, son. So,
So that series I was talking about, Mitchell Melton had the strip sack on 4th down on Menza, and he recovered the ball. Then that started. We scored 3 plays later. That's when Jamari Taylor broke off that 78-yard run, and then the very next Duke drive, we sacked them, and we forced a 3 and out. So I mean, it all starts from the defensive end, and we got a lot of pressure going.
I also want to point out to Devin Neal is just.
Oh, he's made multiple plays.
I want to
stretching
say
out.
he picked up somebody and made a heck of an athletic play breaking up a ball.
Yep.
And like he just does he just does a ton of stuff that maybe some people don't know. So go ahead.
My thing with this game is, I don't want to get caught up in the we're back mentality, but whatever we did work, and the last 4 games wasn't working. We did get some wins out of it, but it was good to see drives become successful, like with touchdowns or field goals, or even if we turned the ball. I'm just saying, like, we were able to run our plays, and it didn't look like Dez had to go back to his pocket and well, let's see if this.
We didn't
play
run
now
anything
works.
stupid.
Yeah.
We didn't run any split linemen out. We ran the offense. We spread the ball through all 3 levels of the defensive coverage, and we were able to run the ball effectively, and we got it outside. Those are the 3 things that I saw differently.
So it sounds like you guys are giving your boy Dez his credit. These
You
coaches,
have to win. The game goes that way.
So you're giving these coaches credit. Now, do you think it was a poor coach's decision to leave Chandler Morrison as long as you left him in? I know this is a question we've got here on the ticker, so if you're done with the defense, we can just jump right into this. But you guys were texting really early about getting him out.
Yeah, when you're up 28 points, and yes, it was the 3rd quarter going into the 4th, but we had a chance and we stopped Duke. I was like, all right, this is the time to pull him out. So for me, the drive that he threw the pick 6, I didn't want him in the game. It was 10-ish minutes left.
But at that point, he had to stay in the game.
No, he didn't. It was 31-10 before he threw the pick 6. Before he threw that pick 6, I wanted him out. We were up 31-10, and defense was stopping Duke. They weren't moving the ball well. I wanted Chandler to come out that drive. He's coming off a concussion protocol. He wasn't cleared to play till Saturday morning. He gave you 3 good quarters, 1 interception, a touchdown, and led the offense. We're up 21. Pull him out of the game. 10 minutes left in the game. Pull him out. You could have run the ball 3 times, and we've been averaging 4.5, 5 yards a carry. We would have got a few first downs, and even if we punted it away. But I think, we should have got him out. But yet, I felt he got pressured early on that drive. There was no blocking, and he was about to take a big hit, so he dumped the ball off where he was supposed to, and they jumped the route and scored on it. So I think that was more so he didn't want to take a hit, and it was a pick 6, and it could have been a momentum swing. Luckily, it wasn't. We shut him down again, and that was the last time they scored. But then you had to keep him out for another drive to make sure that we burned some clock and or scored. So I would have liked to see him come out early. I think his dad probably wanted him out a little bit earlier.
Why he was shaking his head up in the stands?
They finally found him in the stands. They wanted him wanted him pulled out, I think.
Mills, what did you think about it? I can't recall exactly what you thought in the text story, but were you?
I said keep him in because we were doing well, but I also agreed that, Ben, I think me and you texted after this drive, if we get points, it's time to bring Danny in. It's
We got a news update alert.
We got breaking
fresh
news.
off the charts. What do we got, Mills?
Breaking news. Posted an hour ago. The NC State and Virginia game next year will be played in Brazil. We are going international, boys. So we will not have a home game in Scott Stadium between NC State, and this game will count as an ACC game.
Can we pick up a kicker while we're there?
Dang, Will. All right. Well, I mean, just so you know, breaking news. So this was posted by Pac 24/7. NC State and Virginia are set to play a game in Brazil in 2026. The game will count as an ACC contest. The 2 teams will be playing first time ever in Brazil. Has any college teams played in Brazil before?
I know they play in Ireland. You
Yeah.
know, Notre Dame's been playing in Ireland, but which is pretty sweet.
So a little breaking news. This was broken by Corey Smith. So,
do they pack out? What's it called? Did they get more fans coming to watch the game than we get at Tech UVA?
Does Brazil even know about college football?
What package do they think they put together for people who want to go?
Sean, we are not going to this.
Well, you got to.
Are you on Expedia already?
I
Look at
got
a
to see the
flight.
timeline. I don't think that weekend's going to work
They
for
need
me.
us there. I mean, I don't know, man. It is crazy to think about, and it also.
Sorry, I just didn't mean to
no,
throw it, but
it's
we
a
got
lot of
breaking
fun.
news,
I hope
so
you do a breaking news.
I hate losing a home game for
It
that.
is a home game, but
I hate losing that game.
I think it'd be fun. Now, hold up. Here's the real question: what kind of TV coverage are we gonna get down there? You two gonna be able down there? ESPN?
CW.
Dude, this might hold up.
Brought to you by
hold
the
up.
CW.
This might be the first ever college game day for UVA, but it's in Brazil
On Telemundo.
on Telemundo.
Not a chance. They're not doing that because they're not going to get the fans. There's not going to be a kicking contest. Pat's not going to give $1 million.
Pat 100% would go down.
I don't think
Brazil.
Pat would make it out of Brazil. So
Our boys better make it out of Brazil. But
So sorry for the breaking news. What do you think about Brazil?
what do you mean? What am I
What do
thinking
you think about this going to Brazil?
I think it's cool.
Do you think we get money out of this?
We better.
Sean's already upset. He's looking at his package. UVA better credit him his money back.
All right. So I think, we're all kind of agreed at some point in time, Morris should have came out. Maybe I thought it was right timed, but
take it from a Commanders fan. Up 28 or down 28, you should probably take out your star quarterback, especially who's just coming off an injury. So you would eliminate the Jaden Daniels play.
I think they took him out at the right time.
No, I think they should have taken him out that
he
drive.
would have. He probably would have.
10 minutes. 10 minutes. You're telling me we can't at least have 1 or 2 drives with Danny? Danny moved the ball against Wake. They got pressure on him and he fumbled.
He
it.
also threw
No interceptions.
Well, I would have liked to have seen us go more of a 3 and out before he threw the interception. I would have liked to have seen us just run the ball there. That protects him. Also puts us in a position where
It was also third and long. I think we had a penalty
Yeah,
there.
but
we
we
had
okay.
also-
Run the ball and punt the ball.
Yeah.
But anyway, point being is like that pick six was definitely like had he just thrown an incomplete pass on that, Danny probably still would have walked out there after that punt.
Yeah. I mean, it is
But
what it is.
that-
Look, it's over. Chandler's not hurt. He's safe. He's healthy.
All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room that Tony Elliott doesn't want to talk about
I'll
because
talk
he's
about
trying to
it.
keep these boys focused. But we're fans and we get to talk about it, and it's wild to hear Sean's words coming to fruition, and with this, but there's a lot of variables going on right now. This brings us, I think we're tied in the ACC currently for the number 1 spot, or is it
Yeah.
technically Georgia Tech?
Georgia Tech technically has the tiebreaker, so they're ahead. If you want by ESPN's ruling or however they do their statistics, we are, I believe, 80%. We are 33% chance of winning it all. Georgia Tech's 37. We have an 80% chance of making the game.
So we had a couple. Pittsburgh lost, but it didn't count because they lost to Notre Dame, and that's a whole thing. But so Pittsburgh's still in the mix.
Yep.
SMU is still in the mix.
Yep. SMU,
Georgia Tech,
Tech,
obviously, and us.
and us.
Louisville's out,
Louisville's out. Duke is out.
but Louisville had who'd they beat? Who'd they beat this?
Louisville beat Boston College, right? Yeah.
No,
No,
Clemson beat Louisville, right, by 1 point.
Was it? I thought.
No, yeah, Clemson, Louisville,
Clemson.
1
who,
point.
Who did Boston?
Friday night.
Boston College played Georgia Tech.
Yep, and Georgia Tech escaped.
Yeah.
Yep. That definitely would have helped us out, I guess. I'm not sure anymore anyway. But so again, there's a lot of variables. This is going to be a big week for us to watch. It's Georgia Tech's last ACC game. I
Yep.
think it's
Pitt.
Pitt's last ACC game.
No, Pitt has.
Or they have Pitt.
They have
So
Miami.
one of them is going to lose. So one of them is going to get put out,
Correct.
presumably. Well, maybe not necessarily. It depends on what everybody else does. I guess we could all lose, and then we're back to where we were. But still,
Theoretically.
yeah, I'm not doing a great job breaking this
So,
down. So
I mean, so the committee has us ranked 19th. We didn't move up. We didn't move down. We stayed where we are. Georgia Tech's ranked 16th, and I think Miami jumped up to 13th.
So our only path forward for this
Is
college
win the
football
ACC.
playoff is to not lose, win the ACC,
And we're in. We're in.
and by that we should be the highest ranked ACC champion.
If we win out and if we beat Tech and win the ACC championship game, we're in.
As long as there's no group of 5 that
Ahead of us,
just
ranked,
blow,
but it's ranked ahead of us,
but
which
currently
there's not,
they're not.
and there's only one, Tulane, 24. So
sore subject.
it is. Very
No,
sore.
I feel bad for it. I'll give you a hug later on, I guess.
appreciate
but
I think our chances are good. I think I like having this bye now. When you really look at it, we talked about the bye going into Tech as a big thing, but now having this bye and letting the other teams have to kind of must win for them, it kind of takes the pressure off, and all we have to do is go do our job at Tech.
Sean, do you think these boys are keeping their heads straight? They're still focused?
Yeah, I definitely think they're
not looking past Tech. That's really, I guess it's best that it is Tech, because it's very hard to look past Tech. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think the older guys, the veterans on this team are showing they're letting everybody know on the transfers, some of the younger guys, hey, this game means something to us. And Elliott talked about it in the Coach's Corner on Tuesday night. Hey, this is a game for 365 days. We will talk about this game for the next year. Win, lose, or draw, we will talk about it. We still talk about 2019 like it happened yesterday. Tech still talks about 19-1 over the last 20 years because that's all they have to claim.
Well, they
So
also have something
we don't
else.
need to talk about that. Okay? So
I mean, the elephant in the room is
there's no elephant in the room.
They have a new head coach.
I think
and
you're more worried about Tech than you are Virginia. So
I'm not. I'm just saying.
It's something where the team is focused on Tech this year. We have a bye week. I don't think they're going to overhype it like Bronco did for years. It's the state championship. It means a lot. Go out and play the game. But I think we have a renewed focus. Sage Ennis spoke to the team and said, hey, we're not going to treat this bye week the same as the Washington State one because we did come out a little slow. Still ended up winning. Tony Elliott still undefeated after a bye week. And so I think we
Don't jinx us.
But I
haven't yet.
I don't want to talk about it too much because it's not
No, I'm just saying
what's it called. But
they're going to be focused and they're going to come out swinging.
I am really curious about the headspace over at Tech because, I mean, a lot of things are happening over there. I don't know what the dynamic at the locker room is or anything like that. You've got current coaching staff. You got incoming and we'll talk more about that next week. I just don't want to flesh that out. But, yeah, I was just curious, Sean, of what you really thought about.
They got Miami this week.
What you thought about, I mean, I asked you that question. Do you want to see them beat Miami? And not that it necessarily helps us or hurts us, but
I think it helps the ACC as a whole with Miami winning.
right.
So we need Miami and Virginia in to get
Actually,
more.
you know what? I actually want them to beat Miami so they get this big ass head of theirs that we're ready to play, and then we beat them.
All right.
I mean, at this point, it looks like only one ACC team.
They almost got Miami last year. They got
what I'm
screwed with
saying.
that
the catch.
with the catch.
But I mean, kind of a roundup for Duke, right? We in for football, done for football.
Yeah, I think we're done with football. I mean, there's not really much. There's nothing out about injuries. I have if I'm just from the outside looking in, I feel confident that Cam's going to be back, based purely on the fact that he came into the game later on.
He played once now.
But
we'll see how he goes. There was no from the in-game analysis. They were saying there was no structural damage.
I'm guessing it was a sting or some type of bone bruise or something muscular.
I think it was a ligament.
But
I think it was a sprain because he blew up a play, but he couldn't put a lot of weight on it. So
But he's got 2 weeks. It sounds like Noah Vaughn's going to be back.
Unfortunately, we didn't get a Tuesday press conference this week, so we won't get any injury updates till next week.
And we had Metcalf back this past game, right?
Yeah, we've had Metcalf back for a while.
Yeah, but I mean, so
the O-line's been the same the last 3 weeks.
I'm not thinking Metcalf. I was thinking about Ben York. Did we get Ben York back?
Not
this
sure.
past game? I mean, I know he's younger. He's not necessarily started, but he has been he's really developed. I'm really excited about his future. So I think that having him back is just, we got to have depth. We really got to have depth. So that's where we're at with the injuries and stuff like that. And we're 4 deep in basketball. Apparently the best
Start
for first year.
coach.
The key word is a first year coach.
I mean,
So
he's ahead of
since
Bennett.
1905, first year.
First year.
Yeah, I mean, who did he have? Sammy Zielinski. That was his star player. Was it?
What a great pull out of your pocket on that one. I think you're right. I think you're 100% right. Look it up, Sean, while we're talking about this. But
Yeah, best start for a first year head coach at UVA.
convincing wins.
But that's what you're really excited about is the way that they're playing. Like
Yeah.
you just really enjoy
I've been hyped
the
on it.
points. The team really like that. I think that's gonna be kind of though about this team is like when they are hot, watch out. Like when they are dropping threes, watch
What
out.
I tell you about Sam Lewis, I like him.
Well, I've just been like, there's so many people you could really enjoy to watch. So you got,
D. Ritter.
you got, I can't, who's it? Oyen Senso.
The Ken Palm rankings for these four games were pretty bad. I think the best one was Marshall. They were inside the 100. So
This was the first game that I saw Malik really pop off. That's supposed to be our guy, our scorer.
our big guy still hasn't played. He's hurt. The guy who's supposed to be a scorer, he's still.
No, I think it's still Malik.
You still think it's
I think
Malik?
that's the guy that I know who you're talking about. Tillis.
Tillis.
I don't think he was the guy, but everybody that I've seen is Malik that I think they've hyped up. I think he was the leading scorer over at San Francisco.
Malik shot the ball well, 4 for 5 from 3-point land.
He was really hot, but yeah, I really like.
What's Sam Lewis do?
I like Oyense, man. There's just something about him that's
Sam-
really excited about watching him.
1 for 3, but he had 9 total points. DeRitter had a quiet 23. I like the scoring. I kind of like what y'all said.
But
I
it's
like the
not. They're
scoring.
not turning the ball over as like ridiculous that you thought they were going to be running up and down, turning the
No,
ball.
I said
over.
that last week. It's not ugly brand basketball.
Now I will say this weekend is going to be the key. You're playing Northwestern in the Ken Pond rankings. They're 44, so it's going to be a Q1 quad 1 game, and then your Butler. That's quad 2. They're ranked like 60th.
So
So
my take on this team is going to be we're going to end up being I think we're going to have an issue where it's going to be a streaky team and it's going to be what player's hot which game, which is going to it could potentially help us where we got multiple players who can score, but we need a guy to take the lead and I think that's going to be Ritter. And I like how again, I keep saying this every week. I like how Ritter and Grunlow play together. I think that's that European mindset. They know what they're doing. They ran the high-low in the zone. That's where we really, I think we played a lot better against Marshall when they played in the zone versus when we played NC Central.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, Sean. I think this team has a lot of weapons, though. They have a lot.
They have a lot of weapons. We thought the
I
same
know
though
we're-
last year, but
Yeah.
when it came to the games that mattered, we couldn't win.
I know we're talking about like you've talked about like them still trying to figure out the rotation. I think it's going to be a deep rotation. I think it's going to be an 8-9 man rotation.
I think it's going to be more than that. I think it's going to be like 10,
And
12.
you know,
You had 8 guys play over 10 minutes, and you had 11 guys total play.
but like they've got so many weapons. Like I think Chance Mallory's exceeding expectations. Like he's probably, I want to say he might be one of the better point guards we've had since maybe London Keys or whatever.
And he gives off
no,
Kihei Clark
London
vibes on the
Parentheses.
defensive end, too.
What's that?
He gives off Kihei Clark vibes on the defensive end.
He's a bulldog. He would
That,
have really.
he
He
pesters.
probably would have. Y'all say what y'all want on the systems and whatever, but he probably would have really thrived under Bennett with that.
He had a big play where I think there was an older one.
He shot the 3 and then the foul.
No, I can't remember. This was the game against where we stole an inbounds pass, another lazy inbounds
And
pass,
he laid it up. Yeah.
and then we kicked it out for a 3. So it was one of those plays. He's just all over the place. And I think where you had those rotations, you give fresher legs out there, kind of the same thing. And we're rotating these guys out so you can give more effort. So you're not being lackadaisical. So, no, I like what I'm seeing. We can't lose we lost the second half, technically. So
I'm okay if we lost that.
we lost the second half by 2.
I'm okay with that.
We gave up 45 points. So
But I mean, we also put in 61. I don't how much of that was like rotation at the end, and also kind of like taking their foot off the gas pedal a little
Yeah.
bit.
I think it was more midway through the second,
Right.
like kind of that second part of it. But they just again they kind of lulled a little bit, but overall they took care of business. They had the mindset. I think Odom said they're going to learn from it.
Still a lot
they're
to
still
improve
growing.
on,
They're
yep.
still developing as a team. So things to be excited about. We'll have to see how deep of a run or how this team kind of gels as we get it, like you said, into bigger competition.
But yeah, so hopefully this team comes together. Got a couple big tests coming up. Butler, Northwestern. Hopefully I get to a couple games this year. It'd be nice. Plenty to choose from. Better get there before they get ranked and prices go up. But
Winter break is a good time to try to go because the students aren't there. You know, campus is or grounds is kind of empty. Kind of get you some tickets for cheap.
Yeah.
So next up, that was that.
Mm-hmm.
Fall sports. What do we got? Knows we got some heartbreaking news.
Yeah. Field hockey came in as the 4th seed, and they got upset by Miami in the quarterfinals, so they got knocked out of the tournament, NCAA tournament. Cross country, men and women, they're both going to the NCAA championship. They finished 3rd and 5th in the regionals, and then soccer lost a heartbreaker in the ACC championship to SMU, 1-0. But the women are moving on to the second round this weekend, so yeah, kind of a wrap up.
Yeah, I think that's the wrap up of that. But I think our goal is, let's finish strong in these fall sports as we head into to Thanksgiving. But if you guys have lasted this long, I commend you, and that means that you actually listen. And that being said, if you're listening, next week's a bye week, so we're gonna take that time to discuss Virginia Tech coming up after Thanksgiving when we play.
Well,
them
this
after
week's the
Thanksgiving.
bye week.
Yep. Well,
Next week is
Tech. Hate
there's
week.
no recap for us. It will be a full preview.
No recap.
Hate week.
Full preview.
We'll have a special guest.
We're gonna have a special guest.
Deuce.
So that's gonna be exciting. I'm excited to have someone that actually knows some stats,
Plays.
Nose ball.
knows ball.
Sean's gonna be backseat.
Yeah, and
I'm directing this
NCAA
thing.
26. I did. No, just kidding.
Inside zone.
Would you say you're directing?
I'm directing this thing, y'all.
No, we're really excited about that. And like I said, go check his YouTube channel out. 434 Defense. It's an easy listen. I tune in when I can. I enjoy it. Follow us at Cardiac Who's on
Who's
X, and listen to us on your favorite streaming platform. You can come back to us on YouTube now. We're done boycotting them. So, and make sure, Mills, what's their deal right now? $10, $20? Like,
I think they're taking it off.
Probably
because
ended now.
It ended now. That because they signed back up with.
so
the,
if you or someone, please join our class action lawsuit we're gonna try to put together. They like being sued, but you signed the fine print. You read the agreements, but anyway, Sean, you got anything to add?
Go Who's.
rank JMU and go Who's.
What's the equivalent of go Who's for just go Dukes?
No, we go Dukes.
Oh,
Don't hate. Don't hate.
that's like jazz fingers. Go Who's.
Dukes.
Anyway, no, go Who's. Cut it. We're done. Get
We're
us
done.
off.